Hello everybody, this is FC7, and in today's adventure, I am off to Deathknell, my Necro and my Druid, to duo a Ghostrider's mount. This is a very unique mount because it's actually 2-in-1. You have the Ghostrider's Bridle, which is on the screen, and you can also click it and create a Ghostrider Spirit, so it's actually two mounts. It's very useful for every character if you can do it. Both of my characters that will be duoing are 110, but I've also done a video on this at level 105. I'm replacing that video with this one because there are some issues with audio, so some of my earlier videos had audio issues, but hopefully this video will be better. So we're off to Deathknell, and you can get there with an AA ability everybody has under the Specials tab called Harmonic Dissonance. So on the screen is where that AA will take you, right when you zone in, and I will use one of my mages to get the rest of my group up here to where the zone in to Deathknell is. So there it is in the distance. You have to cross that bridge, and we'll just get there quick. I'm actually trying to replace this this mage's mount that he got. It's like a heroic mount. So we'll try to get across the bridge. Sometimes you'll run into this NPC, but it should be no problem if you're like level 100 or above. I almost forgot to mention the zone that the AA takes you to is called Theater of Blood. So you can click on the AA from anywhere, go to Theater of Blood, and then go to the Deathknell entrance, which is right here. It's that statue, you have to click on it. But you also need 6 real-life people in your group. You can't use mercenaries. So I had to log in all 6 of my accounts so I could do this. Just zone in here. This is where it takes you. We'll get my druid zoned in. Wherever he is, there he is. So once they're both zoned in, I'm going to speak to this NPC and start the event. Just repeat her line of dialogue there. And I think I will turn my character here into a skeleton so he doesn't take up too much of the screen. So we'll just speak to this NPC, start the event. And I'm going to be showing the entire event. So if you get bored, just fast forward to the end to see the result. I feel it's necessary just to maybe help other Necros out there if they want to attempt this event for one of their alts, like I'm doing here. So we will just load these guys up with damage over time spells. And I've found that they're really resistant to everything, so I usually use my corruption dots and have my swarm pets out as well. So I have my regular pet take care of one of them, and there's 3 other of these watchers here that you have to keep engaged. So there are 4 watchers total, being north, east, west, and south. And every once in a while, some True Faith NPCs will spawn that will attack you as well. So you might want to have your damage over time aura out if you're a necromancer doing this. So my spell lineup is pretty much my corruption dots, and then my swarm pets, and then my damage over time auras. I found the aura that works best is Remote Sphere of Decay. That will take care of the ads that spawn, the True Faith guys. There they are. So we'll get rid of them and just keep going in a circle. It all involves running in a circle, trying to get these corruption dots to land if you can. Sometimes a fire will land every once in a while, but these guys are super resistant to every spell type. I found at 105 it was hard to keep my pet alive, but here at 110 he seems to be okay without needing a heal at all. I was a bit surprised about that because I haven't done this since maybe last year sometime before the level increased to level 110. So a little bit easier. I used to have to heal my pet every once in a while. And he doesn't even have any mage pet gear on him. I just summoned him before I zoned in here. And I think what I'm going to do here for the rest of the video is change the aspect ratio because I don't need to really see my UI after this. So we'll just switch that here. Go full screen. If anybody was wondering how my UI is laid out, he had a pretty good view of it. So we'll just do the rest of this video in full screen. And we'll just get rid of these True Faith guys. Continue just keep an aggro on the 4 Watchers. I think if you don't have a dot on them, or if you don't have them engaged in some kind of melee with your swarm pets or regular pets, they could fail the event. You don't want them all getting up to the bell. I think that's how it works. I don't know, I didn't raid this when it was current content. Oops, sorry about that sound. I hope it wasn't too loud. So we'll just keep these guys going. And there's my druid in the background. If you're going to use the same setup, make sure that the alt that you're going to have helping you out has remove greater curse, because you'll need that at the end. And park him next to that statue. I know that all these areas look alike, but towards the end, you're going to have those Deathknell Enforcers spawn and start attacking. And you will need to be over by where the statue is, where my druid is located. Because you'll need a character to cast Remove Greater Curse. Because the Enforcers will cast something on you called Wings of the Gargoyle, which will turn you into a gargoyle, and if it's not cured in time, it creates a death touch by a spell called Spreading Stone. So we'll just keep doing this, going in circles. It's actually the same kind of spell that was used in Demiplane, if you've ever raided there. You constantly needed Remove Greater Curse. And a Necro doesn't have RGC, so you'll need a class that does. Sometimes I'll bring my Shaman into this. So I think Shamans, Clerics, and Druids have Remove Greater Curse, but I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me. Maybe Beast Lords as well, but Beast Lord is my least used class. I don't even have him up to 70 yet. Someday I'll have to get him past like level 62. I think Beast Lords are half Shaman. Maybe a Shaman Warrior combo. So let's keep this guy engaged here. And what I'm trying to do is get spells to land. I don't know if it's a certain duration of the event where they become less able to have spells cast on them or what, but it's really hard sometimes. And there's also a small silence that they use. Sometimes they silence you so you can't cast. I also have a life tap up. So ideally you want to life tap as often as possible. So we'll try to get these spells to land. There's my remote sphere of decay, you know, because it's a skull. Yeah, sometimes guys just become super resistant to spells, even corruption. I think the last time I did this, the last video I made was in 2016, July of 2016. So I don't know if they changed this event for the progression servers, maybe? But it seems like it's harder to have any kind of spells land on these guys. That video needed updating anyways, because a lot can change in 2 years. The only reason I found out about it was because somebody left a comment. I'll have to explain the comment at the end of this video. It was pretty funny. Sometimes I get trolls on my channel, and it's fun reading their comments. I was thinking about maybe coming out with a video and explaining to people who leave comments about what I do with any nasty comments. But maybe not. That would just encourage them more, right? But anyways, getting back to this video, just keep going in a circle here, laying down your remote sphere of decay aura, having your pet battle one of the watchers, and you have to wait for the enforcers to become active. So we will wait for the enforcers to become active and just keep going in the circle and throwing dots down. Watch your health, keep your life taps up, and you could be the owner of a really cool mount. So like I was saying, back in the day, my guild skipped Deathknell. We didn't even do this one. It came out at a weird time. I think we had the choice between the Demiplane and the Serpent Spine. I think that was the one after this one. Yes, it went Prophecy of Ro and then the Serpent Spine. So this one we skipped entirely, which was a shame because everybody was raving about this mount, the Ghostrider mount. I always wanted one, but I didn't really feel I could solo it for years and years and years after that. I think the first time I attempted it was around the Call of the Forsaken expansion, and I was okay with it. I had to learn the event. It was pretty tricky here and there, but eventually I got it down after a lot of trial and error. And now it's pretty much cake, and every character in the game should be able to do this and get their alts. Two of the coolest looking mounts in the game, and they go at fast mount speed. I think they call it the Bard speed mounts. So if I was a new character, I would definitely go for the Ghostrider mounts as soon as I was able to. First I would get the Drogmere mount in King's Court Casino, and then I would go for these guys. I don't think I would buy any from the marketplace. Just if I was a new character, I would not buy any from the marketplace at first, because what you want to do is get a Bard speed mount, or else your other mounts will not go at Bard speed, if that makes any sense. Because when you buy a mount in the marketplace, I believe it looks for the fastest mount in your inventory, if that's how I remember it working. Maybe I'll do a mount hunting video someday. I'll just have an alt go through all the mounts I think I would go for if I was a new character or returning after a long time. That might work. So we'll just keep going in a circle here, waiting for the enforcers to become active, which should be any time. And the goal is not to have these watchers get up to the bell. I was actually reading somewhere where a wizard was able to destroy these guys, but being a necromancer, I don't have enough DPS for that because they regenerate too fast. Or maybe some necros have done it. If you're a necro watching and you're able to destroy one of these guys or have a different tactic, feel free to post it below. So the clock is ticking. So far I have 15 minutes and 55 seconds. And the bad thing is you really can't make this event go any faster. And there's like a 3-day lockout, I want to say. Let me check that quick. According to what I found, it's a 4.5-day lockout. So I think that's correct. Sounds about right. So we'll just keep going in circles here. Wait for the enforcers to spawn. In the meantime, be sure to have your key binding set for your alt so you can cast Remove Greater Curse over and over. That's what I was doing at the beginning of the video. With my druid, I had the key binding set, hot button made. I have my Remove Greater Curse in my first slot on my druid. So when the watchers become, when the enforcers become active, be sure to chain cast Remove Greater Curse on the character who will be taking care of the watchers, in this case my necromancer. So I have it set to keep casting my first spell gem 5 times. That should be enough. And the enforcers, they really don't have the same kind of resistance as the watchers do, so it's easier to put some spells on them and get them to land. So we'll put the aura down, if I can put the aura down. And it looks like the enforcers just became active, so I'm going to run back to where my druid is. Finally became active. And what I'm going to do is put an aura down, the remote sphere of decay, have them take care of the watchers and the enforcers at the same time, as well as some true faith if they spawned. Maybe I'll switch back to having my UI show here so it's more interesting. Okay, so here the remaining fight should be a little bit clearer. Makes a little bit more sense seeing the entire UI. And whenever you see that happen, that means that you have that spell on you that turns you into a gargoyle, and you need to get that healed right away. I think you have 5 ticks to get it healed with Remove Greater Curse. Get all the enforcers done, taken care of. Have my pets out. See, now if you turn into a gargoyle, that means you have to get healed right away. So we'll switch to my druid. And target my necro. Click the hotkey. That will chain cast Remove Greater Curse. But in this case, I think I'm going to zone out and have my druid finish these guys. Be a little less complicated. And get rid of this last enforcer. take his health down. Still haven't zoned out on my Necro. When you run 6 accounts at once, it's kind of taxing on your system. So there we go, the event is finished, and we will open the chest. And keep in mind, I'm going to show everybody who's watching this video, you can't just type /open, you have to melee it down. Somebody left a nasty comment on my last video and said that I was doing it all wrong and that I could have just typed /open, which is not the case. You have to melee them. It was that way in Demiplane, and it is that way in Deathknell. So I'm going to open this and see if we got the Ghostrider. And I did not. I found that Ghostrider, he doesn't drop very often. He's maybe a 20% drop, has a 20% drop rate. Here we have a couple of junk items. But there is an item with Circle of Power 2, and I don't have Circle of Power yet on my Ranger. So what I'm going to do is log in my Ranger and loot that earring with Circle of Power. So at least something good came of this one. Thank you everybody for watching. Any questions or comments, leave them below. That should just about do it.